Hello, what's up? I'm Sharisa Huffman, and I titled this video How to Gain Confidence Quick because I know there is a lot of people who struggle with confidence, especially when coming on video. So, I want to give you a few tips on how to gain confidence quick and how to really step into it and it be authentic because gaining and understanding how to gain confidence very quickly can be troubling for some, especially if you're not normally a confident person. It can be really tough. So in this live, I am going to share with you some tips that I have personally used to gain unshakable confidence, to go after what I want, who I want, and really start to just walk in my authenticity and be a really cool person that is effective and makes creates a cool life for themselves. So I'll just introduce myself. I am Sharisa Huffman. I am a confidence coach, and I teach people how to stand in their confidence, how to really bring that out, stand in their authenticity, be who they are, share who that, project that out to the world so they can come online and start to share their talents and their divine sacred gifts so they can really start to build a passionate online service-based business, that one that they can be proud to share with their friends, their family, their colleagues, in the world, right? So, okay, so I have been on YouTube before. I have another YouTube channel. It's called Sharisa Marie. Um, but I'm locked out of it because I do not remember the passcode. It was some years ago. I have like about 1,000 subscribers and some several 100,000 views on that. But anyways, whatever. We're restarting. So I'm restarting. I'm coming back on YouTube, and I really want to give you guys some really amazing content so that you can really start to shift your own personal reality, so that you can become more effective and get better results. So, confidence, right? This is something that most people struggle with. Being who they are, being themselves, seems to be a big struggle for people. Um, it used to be for me, honestly. Like, I'm a very confident person, and growing up, I really struggled with social anxiety. I would get in front of people, I would start panting and sweating, and my heart would start racing, and I would breathe really heavy, and I'd be very nervous, and I would say really ridiculous things. I would embarrass myself all the time. And it wasn't until I was about 19 years old where I started doing door to door sales. And that really showed me just how insecure and low confidence I was, on the confidence scale. I basically was at zero. I just was in my head a lot. I had this really annoying tonality. I was super high pitched and bubbly and fast talking, and people would just really tune me out. And so I had to really quickly adjust. So over the years, I was 19 quite a while ago. I'm not 19 anymore. I'm a little older than that. But I really had to quickly adjust because if I wanted to make money doing what I was doing, it really required me to gain confidence and transfer trust and confidence in other people so they would do business with me, and then I can in turn make money. So what I did was I started really, because that was an extremely uncomfortable situation for me doing door to door sales, right? It was just uncomfortable. I'd never done anything like that before. Um, I was constantly, every single day, faced with very uncomfortable situations. Homeowners opening their doors, looking at me, staring at me, wondering why the hell I'm there. Some people slamming the door in my face. Some people getting very annoyed with just my pitch, my tone of voice was just annoying. And so I started paying attention to that, right? So I think when it comes to confidence, like really gaining more confidence, I think it really requires a certain level of introspection. You have to first start paying attention to your output and how people are receiving you, the look on their face, their body language. Does it change? Does it become more open or does it become more closed? Do they frown up? Are they more brighter? Do they seem happy to talk to you? Do they shift the subject and maybe walk away? These are things that are very important. And it's okay. If people do that, don't worry. This is just merely feedback. And it's totally fine. If people aren't receiving you well, just trust and know that that can actually change with some tweaks, with some minor tweaks to your delivery, to your own self-awareness. That can actually really, really change, and your whole life will change. Everything will start to open up for you. But first, you have to become aware. Where are you at? Are you at where people just aren't really listening to you, where you find yourself avoiding people? Really analyze yourself and say, where am I at on the confidence scale? How do I interact with people? Is it comfortable, or is it anxious for me? And so then once you really analyze where you are at it on your confidence level, you can really start to say, okay, all right, so I know that I'm here. I know that people don't like to, maybe if I'm talking, they start to tune me out. Well, a great way to, um, um, a great way to combat that is to start to make some tweaks in the tone of your voice. Now, NLP is neuro linguistic programming, is something that I'm not super deep into, but it is something that I have some very basic knowledge of: tonality, language pattern, backtracking, things like that. Um, you know, uh, Tonality was one that really stuck out for me. Tonality, changing and shifting my tonality, changed everything for me in the way that people responded to me. So if you notice people aren't listening to you, or they tune you out, they are listening, they engage, and they disengage, it may just be your tonality. Maybe you're using too many words, or giving too much detail, and you're not getting to the point, or maybe you're not using enough inflections in your voice. Really start to really understand how your voice sounds and get comfortable with your own voice. I was somebody that used to, when I would hear myself on a voice recorder, like on a if I left a voice message on somebody's machine, I would I would hate the way that I sounded, right? And then I didn't like the sound of my own voice. So you really have to really be comfortable with the sound of your own voice and love the way that you sound, and adjust that to your liking, so that other people, if you like the way you sound, other people are probably going to like the way you sound too, right? Um, you have to you have to adjust that. I noticed a lot of people, and still to this day, I'll be talking and people will sometimes kind of disengage, and they'll tune out, not disengage, but they'll kind of tune out a little bit. They'll kind of drift off or wander off. I attribute that to a large part of people who just have short attention spans. But sometimes it is, I get a little too excited, I share a little too much detail, and my tonalities may start to sound a little annoying, because maybe I'm getting a little whiny, or a little, too braggy, or whatever, something like that. So pay attention to that. What is when people are doing that, start to shift. Maybe you need to talk a little softer, a little slower, a little deeper, not so high pitched, bubbly, and annoying. If you notice yourself doing that, kind of want to pull that back a little. Sorry guys, I am getting hot. Yes, my shirt is the same as my jacket. You may want to, adjust that just slightly. Um, you start playing around with it, and it does take a little bit to kind of get that. It's not super imperative that you have the best sounding voice all the time, but it is something that you do want to cultivate, and you do want to get better at over time, having a very attractive and alluring tonality and speech pattern that people want to listen to, so that because the more attention you have on you and on your voice, the longer you can keep people's attention, the better it's going to be for you, the more effective that you will be, the more I think successful you'll be in getting relationships, getting jobs, friends, all kinds of things, even just situations that come up throughout the day. I feel like if you're an effective communicator, you can actually you can get yourself out of or into whatever situations that you see fit for yourself. Another way to gain confidence is to do things that you've never done before. Okay, meaning one practice that I would do in my earlier years is that when I was in an elevator, places like an elevator, I would say hi to somebody that was in that elevator. And it may sound like something so small, but if you really pay attention, if you think about it, most people don't speak to people in elevators. They really are nervous. It's a nervous time for that how many ever seconds that you're going to your floor and you're waiting for that other person to get off or they get on. Nobody really seems to know what to do. What's the proper etiquette on an elevator? Like just shut up and not say anything. Don't make eye contact. If you do make eye contact, it gets a little weird, you know. But if you just come at like not in a non-creepy, rapey way, for guys, like don't go across as rapey. But definitely acknowledge the person's present. It can even just be like a nod, like hey, how are you? Or just, hey, hey there, just a quick, hey, just being confident and just being like, it's okay that you're in my presence. I'm okay with you being here. Um, you're safe around me. Like I'm a nice person. Like, hey, how are you? Even just looking at somebody and saying, hey, how are you? Is such a way that you can really start to boost your own confidence because it starts to pull you out of your shell. You're pulling yourself out of your shell, and you are, um, you know, you are now you are building up more resilience and um, building up more opportunity for some rejection, which also can build up confidence after being rejected enough. You can, that will, learning how to properly deal with rejection really can turn you into a super confident person. Um, so doing things like that when you walk into a crowded room, have you ever like walked into a room and like you end up like and like everybody's like, one person's the moderator's talking and then there's like a crowd of people and they're listening to like one person, and then you walk in and like the room stops, like everybody just starts to look at you or the room's quiet or whatever. um, Unless this is like a learning situation or something like that or whatever, like a classroom. I don't advise doing this, but you can always just like walk in with your head held high, your shoulders back, and say, hi, everybody. Doing that thing, it is scary as hell when you first do it. If you're not used to doing it and you don't really have confidence, doing that can really boost your confidence. Any opportunity that you have, wherever you are, there's plenty of opportunities, whether it's a small group or a large group. You can walk in, head held high, and you can introduce yourself. You can just say, hi, everyone. Or you can say, how's it going today? I also, my son, I noticed my son does this. And I noticed when he was younger, he would, like when he would go into his new daycare or um, his new school class or whatever, and he would walk in and he would walk in the middle of these kids and just be like, hey, everybody. My kid's now 11 and he is extremely confident. He's just a confident kid, and I noticed him doing this and I was like, wow, like he is really, really like, I felt so proud because I'm like, he's really building up his confidence. He's just not scared of other people and what they're going to think. So that is a really way, looking for any opportunity to just put yourself out there, to introduce yourself, to say hello. No matter if you fall on your face, it really doesn't matter, because if you start to look at people and especially strangers, like you're never going to see these people again. So if the worst thing you can do is make a little fool out of yourself or maybe embarrass yourself. Really, you probably won't be making a fool out of yourself, but embarrass yourself just enough so that where you get used to it and it kind of becomes comfortable, where you're like, hey, I really don't care if I embarrass myself. This is just feedback. These are just people that I'll never ever see again. So it really doesn't matter if I'm embarrassed or if I embarrass myself. I'm building up my confidence to where, regardless of what happened, regardless, I can laugh at myself. I can have a good laugh at myself, have a good chuckle, and move on. And I know that I am building something. I'm building an esteem, my self-esteem up to where I am resilient in the face of rejection, possible perceived rejection, right? Also, doing things that you've never done before, going places that you've never gone before, traveling internationally really helps. If you can, get yourself a passport. I hope that you have one. But if you don't, get yourself a passport. Take an international trip, preferably with one person or alone if you can. going internationally alone, sometimes you can get on these really good travel websites and find yourself in ridiculously cheap tickets. And you can go to some international country and you can just kind of explore, book yourself an Airbnb, set up an experience. They have Airbnb experiences now, and where local hosts can take you around and show you different experiences so that you can really get a taste of that place. Download apps that connect you with people so that you can meet people and say, hey, I'm here visiting and I would really like somebody to show me a good time. Maybe it doesn't work out. Maybe those people don't stay, aren't going to be long-term friends or anything like that. Sometimes they will, but you know what? Going somewhere different, even a new city, um, even a new city can really boost your just a new city that's unfamiliar, and just going and meeting different people and talking to different people can immensely help you with your confidence. Like, I guarantee it will help you. If you can't get internationally, go to a new city, maybe a couple hours away from you. I'm on the East Coast in the DMV area, and I will sometimes, sorry, my neck. So I have to stretch myself. Sometimes I will go down to, I live in Maryland, but I will go down to Richmond, Virginia, which is someplace I really, really love. I love the food. I love the culture. I love the people. I think it's really dope. It's just such a cool place. And I will go by myself for a weekend, maybe just a night or two, because it's only a couple hours away from me. When I was living in Virginia, it was only about an hour from my house. So I would just take a little drive, and I would go, I'd book a hotel and I would stay. I'd go to a coffee shop that was super cool in the Fan District. I would go eat. I went to this place called Cuba Cuba, super good Cuban restaurant. I would meet people, at the coffee shops, at the restaurants that I was at. They would give me advice on where to go and different things like that. I would go shopping. I'd get my nails done, things like that. I would just be this kind of stranger in a new city, and people would just receive me so well. And even though I was already very confident doing that, it still added to my confidence. It did something different for me. It really helped me, step out of my comfort zone. It was still a comfort zone thing. I never really just did that. Go to, just drive to another city and just go and just really sit in that city and be in that city, like that, little staycations. I'd always done long distance travel, and it was always much more extreme. So this was just very, very light, but very, very potent and very effective for just gaining some confidence, some self-confidence, and alone time, much needed alone time, much needed self-care time. And it really, really did help me. Another way, obviously, we all know, getting some physical activity, exercise is amazing. And not just exercising, not just going to the gym and piddling around and getting on the treadmill and doing some, cardio or whatever, and twiddling your thumbs and playing on your phone. I'm talking about downloading a really good app. The app I use for my fitness is called Fitonomy. It has completely changed the game for me in terms of how I work out. I'm so much more of a confident athlete now. I feel like I'm an athlete. I'm quicker, I'm more agile, I'm just faster, I'm just, my body's leaner, I'm very trim, I stand up tall, I've lost weight, my body has changed, and I feel beautiful. And, that has been a huge help in gaining the confidence that I really need to really project myself the way that I want and the way that I want to be perceived. Fitness and having your body feel the way you want it to feel, not for anyone else, right? This is, obviously, as a woman and a man, we want to look good for the other opposite sex or for the same sex or whatever. We want to look good for others, but first and foremost, it needs to be for ourselves, because we're the ones that have to live with ourselves. Everybody's not going home with us at night when we go to bed, and when we're, in the front of the mirror, after a shower. People aren't with us at those moments. So we have to feel good about ourselves for those alone times, for those checking in with ourselves times. How do we really feel about ourselves? This is very important. It's very important to feel good about yourself. It's very important to love yourself and love your body and the way that it looks and feels and moves inside of your clothing. that right there will project outward. If you feel great on the inside, you're going to feel great on the outside. So doing things like that, doing things that, and having like a good workout regime is not something that the majority does, right? So that also, doing things that ties into what I said earlier about doing things, that you wouldn't normally do, or doing things that other people don't normally do, can give you a lot of confidence. Like, that's why some people, they wake up at 5 a.m. Like, something about waking up super early, because like most people aren't awake, is a confidence boost in itself, because you're like, I'm doing something that most people don't do. Most people don't have, most women, a lot of women can't just go into a gym and just know what to do. They need a trainer, they need somebody else, they need whatever. I could just go in, put my AirPods in, and I'm in. People are looking at me because they're like, dang, she just got it going on. She knows what she's doing. We see her body changing. Like that is so amazing for your confidence. I can't even begin to tell you. It is absolutely fantastic for, for raising that frequency, for radiating that confident, sure person that people actually want to be around. You know what I mean? So doing things that most people don't do will help you gain confidence, because you feel like you're set apart from the crowd, and you feel like you have something a little bit more unique about yourself and a little more interesting, because, if we're too much like everyone else, we start to begin to, that can also take a hit at our confidence, because it's like, well, I'm just like everyone else. And everyone else lacks confidence. Everyone else is just bland and the same, and does boring stuff at the gym and boring experiences and boring date nights and all these things. Really stepping in and doing things that most people don't do will really help you, So, being confident is more about just being arrogant and saying that I look good and I'm pretty and I'm this and I'm that. Being confident is taking a lot of action and doing things that most people don't do, doing things that you're uncomfortable with, putting yourself in situations that you wouldn't normally put yourself in, going places you wouldn't normally go. All of this ties in. Working out, getting a good fitness program, eating the right foods, restricting yourself, not eating the burger and fries, but eating the salad with some maybe chicken on the side and, some macaroni and cheese or whatever, but having a big helping of salad. That's stuff a lot of people don't do. But you know what? It's going to give you the confidence, because you're like, man, I'm different, I'm different. I'm over here doing my thing, eating my greens, working out, drinking my water, taking my vitamins, taking my collagen, getting my skincare together, getting my hair care, all these things. This really helps you, and it's important. If we don't have confidence, what else do we have? What do we have? Like, what you're going to be a shell of yourself. All we're going to do is we're going to want to, sink down and really just, kind of, be shrink ourselves down to fit other people. And it's not going to be fun. That's not a fun life. So I want you to have fun. I want you to be confident, and I want you to just know that you got this, and on the inside, and that needs to shine through. So I want to help you let that shine through. I want you to be shiny and illuminating and glowy and fun and playful and all those things. And it really takes getting your body moving and just kind of just dipping and dabbing here and there, just going here, going there, being with these people, being with that people, inserting yourself into some group, maybe hanging out with some people you would normally hang out with. All these things are really, really going to help you build that confidence, right? So, and what I like to do is, I want to help more people, gain that confidence for themselves, so that they can come online and they can really share their gifts and their power, so that they can, we have to, right? Like, people want to start online service-based businesses. If you don't have the confidence to do that, how are you going to do it? You have to be confident to get on video. You have to be confident to take care of yourself, to make yourself look good, to make yourself look presentable, so that people want to listen to you, so that they trust you. Because if you take care of yourself, then other people are going to be like, well, she knows what she's doing, or he knows what he's doing, because they're taking care of themselves, right? Like, they're somebody to listen to. They obviously care about themselves, so I'm going to care about them, right? So, so I'm gonna, I'm gonna help, my people. It's time to attract your tribe and all those things. So I'm attracting my tribe. I want the people that are meant to find me so that we can help each other and I can help you really step into who you are and be your most authentic, powerful self, because that is what matters. That is what's going to get you to come online, to make the income that you want, to have the lifestyle that you want, to be able to grow into the person that you want and that you're supposed to be. So that is all for today. This was kind of a longer video than I anticipated, but I'm really glad I was able to share this. I'm going to be sharing more. You're going to be seeing a lot more of me. So please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I will see you next time. And please comment. Let me know what you think. If there's anything else, any other ways or any questions that you have about confidence and how you can raise that, please hit me with some questions and I'll be happy to answer them in the next video. Bye-bye.